Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to D-Chess. I have a little something different for you today. It's an interactive YouTube video that you can actually guess the moves on. We'll score the moves, and you can interact with the game. Every time I ask you to choose a move, I will first ask you to pause the game or pause the video long enough to write down what move you think is the best move in that position, and I want you to, after that, leave the move down in the comments below, and if it is the correct move, then I will give you your score for that move, and at the end of the game we will tabulate your score and tell you what approximate rating bracket you fall into. But like I said, in between, when it's time for you to make your move, I will tell you to pause the video. I'll give you time to pause it and give you time to write down your move, take your guess. But since this is Tactical Thursday, I figured this would be a good exercise. And excuse the cat, because she may jump up on the chessboard. This is a game that took place between Frank Marshall, who started the Marshall Chess Club, who, for those who don't know, the world famous Marshall Chess Club, and Rudolf Spielmann back in Dusseldorf in 1908. They were both very strong attacking players. They played, between the two of them, they played many games throughout their respective or prospective careers. So this game is a really good tactical study because it involves Dutch defense. Frank Marshall had the white pieces. Spielmann had the black. Dutch defense is dangerous. It's dangerous. It's four aggressive attacking players. Really sharp lines. And this one actually involves the Staunton Gambit, which, if I'm not mistaken, is back in the day was it was a gimmick move back in the day. Then became a solid move. I don't play the Dutch defense that often, so I'm not sure if it's been refuted. That's neither here nor there. Let's get on with the game, and I'll show you how it began. It started off with Frank moving his queen pawn d4, and then f5 denotes the Dutch defense. Now, the Staunton Gambit is offering the Gambit pawn to f5. So now you have, he accepts the Gambit. For those not in the know, you offer a Gambit, you lose a piece on purpose to gain some kind of tactical or positional advantage. That's the purpose of a Gambit. So after f takes e4, then you have, oh, was it this one? Actually, you know what? I think it's time for you to guess your move. So I want you to pause it real quick and guess. Gonna assume you're back. The move was knight to c3. And if you got knight to c3, I want you to write down a score of 5. Now, what's going on here is white's attacking that e4 pawn. He's also developing his knight, and he's gaining time. Black responds by defending said pawn. Now, pause the game again. Okay, so what do you think the move was? If you chose, sorry guys, this should have been right there. I set the board up wrong. If you chose bishop g5, which you probably wouldn't have because it wasn't sitting on the right spot, so I'll give you a pass on that one because I'm not redoing this video. We'll just call that a miss. And we'll just say the game went on like that. We're not even going to score that. Bishop to g5. Now, white has the option of exchanging the bishop for the knight, and he can regain the temporarily sacrificed pawn that he used in the Staunton Gambit. Black responds with c6. Now, pause. All right. The correct move, if you're ready, are you ready? The correct move was f3. If you moved f3, give yourself 5 points. If you chose, instead of that, if you instead chose to take the knight with the bishop, I want you to give yourself partial credit of 1 point. Okay? But on the board, we have f3. And as you can see now, white can get his pawn back. Knight, pawn, both hitting that pawn. He's only got one piece protecting it. So he does, he takes f3. The pawn will be coming back, trust me. But now I want you to pause it yet again. Ready? If you chose knight to f3, I want you to give yourself 4 points. Now, to understand, for that sacrificed pawn, the white gets a better development. He has better control of the center, and it opens up lines of attack. It's going to create very sharp lines for the bishops and the queens, high mobility for the knights. And black responds with e6, which I haven't looked at it yet, but I'm assuming he's going to move his bishop to this square, or that's the plan, maybe, because now his knight is pinned to the queen. Never a good situation. But after e6, it's now your turn. Pause. Alright, so the correct move was bishop to d3. If you chose bishop to d3, give yourself 5 more points. Because as you can see, white is now pretty much fully developed, and he's preparing to castle. He played the opening fairly, perfectly so far. After bishop to e3, black moves bishop to e7, like I said he was going to, and now he's preparing to castle as well. Now, pause. Ready? castle kingside. If you chose castle kingside, give yourself 5 points of credit. And now, after D6, pause it again. Queen to E2. And for that move, if you got it right, give yourself 5 more points. And White's got his rooks connected now. Always a good thing. Everything's developed. He's got good sway over the center. Everything's looking Gucci. Now, just wanted to knight A6. Pause it. Ready? A3. And if you chose A3, give yourself 5 more points. Because this stops the knight from coming to the square. If I hadn't moved that, the knight has a chance to infiltrate, attacking the bishop. The rook can't move away from here because it has to guard that pawn. Well, actually, once he moves the pawn up, he'll have to end up guarding that pawn. So after knight oh yeah, let's get back where we were. A6. And then black responds knight to C7, because now he knows he can't, he's boxing himself in, and almost has almost a kind of a King's Indian setup without the fianchettoed bishop on the side. Don't worry about that if you're not versed in studied chess. After knight D7, pause it again. The correct move was rook A to E1. If you chose that, give yourself 5 points. 5 points. So in the gambit for development, it's important to have all of your pieces in play. Marshall has done that. He's got everything active. Black still has to get his queenside bishop. He has to castle. He has to connect his rooks. So Marshall's way ahead on development. He has the obvious advantage at this point. This lines with, he's going to try a queenside push to create some counterplay. Probably free up this bishop. And now I want you to pause it again. Okay, you ready? Knight to H4. If you chose knight to H4, give yourself 5 points. Black responds with king to D7. Very unorthodox move. Now, pause. Knight to F5. If you chose knight to F5, give yourself 6 points. And give yourself 1 bonus point if you had this move in mind on the previous move. The knight can't be taken because if E takes F5, or E takes knight, pawn takes knight, then you're going to have bishop takes pawn, bishop takes F5, check. Then you're going to have king to E8. Then you're going to have bishop takes C8. Then you're going to have rook takes c8. Then white's going to go rook takes d6, black g takes d6, and then 17, white's going to move bishop to f6. And you can give yourself 3 points bonus credit if you came up with that whole line. That's a toughie. So black goes queen to f8. And pause it. And knight is going to take e7. If you chose that, give yourself 5 points. And then queen recaptures. Pause it again. Knight to e4. If you chose knight to e4, that's 5 more points. Now, with rook to f8, black really had no choice. He's got to add defense to his f6. He has to. This is, the queen being pinned by the knight. He just has to add defense. He's got 2 pieces hitting the knight. The knight can't move away without losing the queen. Even if you try to kick the bishop, it's not going to work out for you. So after knight, rook to f8, yeah, go ahead and pause it again. Knight takes f6, and if you chose knight to f6, give yourself 5 points. And Marshall is just attacking his butt off. G takes f6. And now pause it again. Queen to f3. If you chose queen to f3, give yourself 5 more points. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. And I want you to understand why I'm not worried about this bishop being taken. It's pinned to the rook. Okay, if he takes here, queen takes, rook takes, and I win the exchange. Or rather, Marshall would win the exchange. So, then you have knight to e8. And pause it again. Rook takes e6. And if you saw that, give yourself 6 points. But if you chose to push d5 instead, I want you to give yourself only 3 points partial credit. It's a good move, but not the best move. We're looking for best moves here. So the queen has to retreat to f7. So go ahead and pause it again. Rook to e4. If you chose rook to e4, that's 5 more points for you. And if you chose otherwise to move rook f to e1, then I want to give yourself 3 points partial credit. All right. Black response. Bishop to b7. Now I want you to pause it yet again. Rook to h4. Rook to h4 is worth another 5 points, and add a bonus point if you planned this on the previous move. Now, knight to g7. Pause it again. Rook takes h7. That is also worth 4 points. And now white has so many threats taking on f6. So he's trying to get an exchange of rooks. He's trying to go ahead and pause it again. Queen to h3 check. If you chose that, that's worth 5 points. And if you saw that king to c7 from black, then rook takes h8, and then, which wins a rook after the exchange, I want you to give yourself 1 point bonus credit. So, in this position, Spielmann resigned. Two great attacking players of their time. Now, I want you to tabulate down below your total points, and I will tell you where you fell at. Okay, so this is the rating bracket. So if you tabulated all your scores, if you scored between 0 and 5, you're under 1200. If you scored 6 to 20, you're 1200 to 1399. 21 through 35 equals a rating of 1400 to 1599. If you scored 36 to 50, you're at 1600 to 1799. If you scored 51 to 65 points, your rating is 1800 to 1999. 66 to 80 points is 2000 ELO rating points to 2199 rating. If you scored 81 to 94, you rank between 2200 and 2399. If you got 85 or more, you are in the 24 and above section. So that was the interactive solitaire chess game. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you played it. I hope you enjoyed it, learned something from it. This was my first time doing it, so it didn't run quite as smoothly as I wanted it to, and the video probably went way too long. But with the video being interactive, I don't think the time really matters that much. You're sitting down, you're playing along with me. So make sure to like and subscribe and share the video. Leave a comment down below and tell me what your total score was. I'd love to know how you scored on this game from 1908. A great battle between two legendary masters. I have another video coming up later today. Everybody, have a blessed one. Peace.